Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to start. So the creative economy is a space that I'm in because other than being an entrepreneur and a motivational speaker, I'm also an actor. Despite my very good acting talent, it still took me 4 years to land my first movie role on Netflix. The movie is called Soweto Blaze, if you'd like to watch. Today we'll be talking about the creative sector and is it really inclusive? I've got some very talented people sitting with me today and they're going to be sharing their experiences, their breakthroughs and the challenges that they faced. Ladies and gentlemen of my panel, we're going to be short and sharp and we're going to make sure we give people value from this panel. If you speak too long, I'm going to have to cut you because we are on a time crunch and we really need to want to make time to give the audiences to ask a question or three. So if we take too long, that means the audience can't engage. So do I have your commitment to be aware of the time? Thank you very much. All right. So I'm going to start by asking each and every one of my panel members to briefly introduce themselves, to share a highlight in your career and the biggest challenge that you faced, starting with you, sir. Where are our mics?
Thank you so much. My name is Felix. Owi. Thank you so much. My name is Felix Owi. I'm a commercial model. I'm a UGC creator. And I'm a person living with vitiligo. For those who can't see me, I'm wearing a blue jacket with the golden patches. I'm wearing a fedora and wearing a black pants and black shoes. As a person living with vitiligo, there are a lot of challenges that I do face as a creative, and I will share them as we continue. Thank you.
Oh no, I need you to start with a highlight and the highlight of your career and one of the challenges you faced.
Thank you so much. As I have said, I'm a commercial model, and as a commercial model and a person living with vitiligo, getting into the modeling space and getting the chances to work with brands as a fashion has not been really easy because of there is a lot of discrimination because people don't think like we belong, but I think like I belong. So I do take that opportunity to step out there to say that I belong because I can do this. So I believe in myself.
And highlight a campaign or an ad. What's the highlight of your career so far?
I've done a lot of ads. I've worked with fashion brands. I've worked with Safaricom, and I've also worked with brands like Bosco Esquire, which I'm really grateful for.
Esquire, fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. I'm called Ankunda Doreck. I'm from Uganda and I am deaf. I'm using sign language to communicate and Olivia is interpreting me. So what I do, I am a disability inclusion facilitator with Light for the World office and an actress. So the biggest highlight, it could be broad, but I'm happy that I'm in the film industry. Yeah, that time when I have acted in the film industry, I achieved a big award, Kudoma and Biles in Nigeria. Is when I was awarded. It was big to me, and it was impactful to the community. A person with a disability in the film industry, that is big. I think that is all. Oh,
Thank you.
You talked about the challenges. You want me to talk about a challenge? All right. Yeah, the barrier or challenge that I have faced, one time, I went to another film industry. Yeah, there were known people with disabilities, but I was trying. I applied. So when I went with my interpreter, when I arrived for the audition, the judge, there was security and they didn't want me to get inside with my interpreter. I asked why. I am deaf, I communicate, and I need an interpreter. So there was confusion. So the time when I entered with my interpreter, when they are allowed, so yes, they gave me the document, the part that I'm supposed to act. So when I began, they all got confused. So they were asking, who am I talking to? Is it Doreck? Then I again told them, I am deaf, but the interpreter is interpreting what exactly I am signing. So they were really confused. So I just perceived this was a negative attitude. So I just gave up and left them.
Thank you.
Then, thank you. All
Next.
right.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Macharia, and for those who can't see me, I'm in black suit and, a blue suit and black shoes and a white shirt. I do many things, but mainly in music. I am a graduate of the University of Nottingham in the UK, which comes, I can highlight some of my achievements there. I graduated last year, first class honors, top of the Department of Music consistently, won more than 10 awards.
Fantastic.
Top of the School of Humanities as well. And apart from being a musician, I'm also a person living with a disability. I'm an amputee, and I also have neurodevelopmental challenges.
Okay.
And so I'm very passionate about music education for learners with disabilities, and my research work through the dissertation I did for my undergraduate work, and right now I'm continuing with it at the University of Nottingham still as a research fellow, focuses on how we can use digital tools to make music accessible for people with disabilities.
Fantastic.
And that is in brief. My biggest challenge in this journey has been financial, and I have been able to achieve what I have been able to achieve so far through scholarships.
Fantastic.
I think that addresses all the questions.
Yes, Mr. Autism.
Hello,
It
everyone.
was his birthday yesterday, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Can we all shout happy belated birthday? 1, 2, 3. Happy belated birthday!
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for the birthday wish. Actually, it's really amazing. And my name is Nicholas Dongo Irungu. I'm Prince Autism Kenya and Mr. Autism Kenya 2023. And also, I'm dyslexic youth. And I do advocacy for neurodivergence youths and autism, dyslexia. I'm one of the founders of Neurodivergence Youths, Prince Autism, Nicholas Dyslexic Advocate, Neurododo Club, and Nichosville, Shamba Village. And also I'm a singer also. I have some few songs in my YouTube channel. And I go to schools to advocate, and my biggest challenge is financial. Everything what I've been doing, I've been supported by my mom, she's the manager, and who supports me a lot. And she gave me more ideas to become who I am. And she's a single mother. She helps me a lot.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Alvarita Benedito Lukungo, also known as Alvara. I'm from Namibia. I have congenital glaucoma, which means I am visually impaired. And a brief description of myself is I have a black boo-boo dress on with a modern turban with the traditional print of my people in the northern part of Namibia, which is the Ovambo tribe. So, of course. One of the highlights of my career is, I forgot to mention, I'm a singer, songwriter, composer, disability advocate, and community counselor. With that being said, the highlights in my career is debuting my album Finn, which I released on the 29th of May, 2019. I was 16 when I put that album out, so that means I'm 22.
Okay.
And also having the opportunity of working with the National Theatre of Namibia when they put on a showcase for persons living with disabilities to show off their talents. Challenges that I face as a youth within the creative economy and whilst being disabled is a lack of funding and support for persons living with disabilities and just artists in general. All right.
Thank you.
Dumelang, hello, hi. My name is Mamsu Dirile. I am from Botswana. I am wearing a long black coat with a black top and blue pants, and I am sitting on a throne. That is my wheelchair. I am an actress. I am an MC, a presenter, a small business owner, a content creator, plus, yeah. But I'm sitting here in my capacity as an actress. If I were to speak of a highlight, I have many highlights in my career, thank God. But I'll just pick two. I know you said one. I will elaborate on one.
I'll need you to, yes, please.
I will elaborate on one, but
Please.
pick two. The first one was being able to be on a locally produced drama series, which is called Butolojo, which has been running for 6 seasons now. And I have been with the production, on the production rather, from inception, and I'm still a part of the production. And my second one is having had an opportunity to be on the #1 Ladies Detective Agency television series alongside international actors and actresses such as Jill Scott and Anika Noni Rose. They are from the United States, and many other South African actors and actresses, including Desmond Dube and many more. I was very young at the time, so even my mind right now kind of forgets the names, but I do recognize the people. Challenges I faced in my time as an actress, definitely accessibility of performance spaces. Being a film actress and having to deal with small sets and rather hectic, dangerous sets in a sense, because you have lighting, you have cameras everywhere, you have things like anything could go wrong. So it's usually quite a challenge to navigate those spaces with my already very extravagant wheelchair. So yes.
Nicholas, what are the barriers of participation in the sector?
Can you use a simple words? I need to understand.
No problem, no problem. When I say the barriers of participation, if you want to participate in the entertainment sector, what do you find are the things that block you from participating?
The first thing is people do not know about autism or dyslexia. This is the #1. If you understand, you will get more opportunity. And if you get more opportunity, you do bigger things in life. And first, the parents who do not understand, they cannot bring the kids to go to those opportunities. Example, like for me, I do all things. Like my favorite things is golf. So if you don't accept the kid has this autism, dyslexia, or who has in a wheelchair, disabled, you feel that you are insulated, like you cannot expose your mind to do great things. So that is a barrier. The barrier is just make sure your kids are free to learn, expose, even in school. Most university, you find your education in high school is low. So you have to go to a school that, like, if I want to do a bachelor's, I cannot do it because my high school's very low. I do not get better grades. So we need universities, we need schools to accept who we are, so we can expose our mind, we can get degrees. Like, I love US, even you have dyslexia, autism, they still do the course, and you get degree, you get bachelor's, you get jobs. Without exposure to education, it's difficult. But if you get it, you find it, you have understood new things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alvarita, what do you find are the barriers to recognition? I mean, you are an artist and a songwriter, and you've mentioned so many great things. But what are the barriers to being recognized when you are a person with a disability? Or are there any for you?
There are quite a few. So I would say one problematic thing about the creative economy or industry in Africa is it's all about who do you know. And if you do not know someone or you haven't been exposed, you don't have enough exposure, there's a lack of opportunity. And then that further gets worse as a person who has the disability. So another barrier that I find is finding specific venues that are inclusive and easy for me to access. Oftentimes, when I perform, it has to be in dimly lit environments, and that just becomes very uncomfortable for me. And sometimes it makes me feel like not performing, or rather choosing different opportunities. And sometimes being at the type of music that I do make, I do a lot of folk music, a lot of jazz as well, R&B, and that kind of needs me to be in dimly lit settings, right? And yeah, it just becomes too hard.
Does anyone in the panel relate to that, what she's saying? Do you? Do you find that in the industry, now this goes out to the entire panel, do you find that in the industry it depends on who you know in order for you to advance? Anyone? Yes. Blue suit.
Not black, thank you. I'm also I'm a performer. I do many things as a musician.
Just please pause for me. Technical, could we please get more mics? I don't know if it's possible to put a mic in everyone's hand. Thank you.
Yes, so I was saying I'm also a performer. I'm a classically trained singer. I play the piano and a few other instruments. But you find that there's very high competition whether or not you have a disability. And it does matter a lot who you know, because that is how you're able to get collaborations. And for me to make it through the career of performance, I've had to make a lot of time to be able to connect with people, and sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't work very well. So I completely agree with what she's saying.
Okay, fantastic. Oh yes, please.
Yeah, as Doreck, I want to share some experience in that area, in the film industry. I didn't know so much about the film industry. I had inspiration. I really wanted to act, but how to get through. Yeah, what happened is that Light for the World Uganda and Reach a Hand Uganda, they put up an advert inviting people with disabilities to have this in the film industry. Luckily enough, I applied and I went for the interviews. So luckily enough, I was nominated. So I was nominated and they gave me a role to act as an Africa in that film, When You Become Me. I don't know if someone has watched that film, When You Become Me. That was very impactful. So through connection, that is how I have gone on, but it wasn't easy. And then you have to do it yourself. You have to apply. You can be lucky and you are selected. So with the technology, yeah, we can go there. So you're responsible to go out there and look for these opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be lucky and never give up even when you are not chosen. And always remember to network with other people.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Felix, as a model, would you consider yourself to be a working model? Now, by that I mean, can you survive with just your income from modeling, or do you find that you have to supplement your income by doing other work?
Thank you so much. As a commercial model, I can say I can survive with it, but only when I get booked on a regular basis. But when you don't get booked on a regular basis, you need to supplement it with other opportunities which are there.
So in other words, you don't just model, you have to do other things to survive.
Yes.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen in the panel, I'm going to take 2 or 3 on the same question. Do you find that you can make a living solely from your talent, or do you also have to supplement your income through other means?
As I mentioned, I have a lot of titles, and that's because Ideally, I would love to just identify as an actress because that's my first love. But unfortunately, that's not how things are set up. You get a job as an actress, once the show is done, you're given your money, and that's it, and then you wait for the next job. So
Yeah.
if you decide to depend on that only, you're going to go hungry and you're going to go through the most. So I've been forced, I'll use the word forced very loosely.
Yeah.
I've been led, rather, to start a small business, just like to at least keep me going throughout. And I've also had to step into a 9-to-5 because at the end of the day, bills have to be paid, food has to be put on the table, and in as much as I am a creative and I would love to just be that, I can't really survive off of that, unfortunately.
Doreck, what support would make a difference? What support would make a difference to creatives with disabilities?
All right. Yeah, what can make a difference, most especially, is that show up yourself. And, okay, what can I say? Yeah, it also depends, and you also don't have to depend on only being an actress. You could look for a job. Yes, you could share a story of your life, the challenges that you faced. Talk to people to know who you are. Talk to people. Then, thirdly, most of the time, sometimes people have creative, but they do not know, they don't know how to do it independently. Just like you have a talent to dance, yes, but how do you come up? How do you penetrate the industry? How do you market yourself? How? So that people can get to know you. Yes, you have something special. You have something unique in you. You can use this special talent. Probably maybe you're an actress, maybe, yeah, whatever talent that you have. I am sure the film industry, we don't have enough people with disabilities in this industry. But people with this industry, people with disabilities who are here, kindly show up. Yes, and we don't have to segregate ourselves as people with disabilities. Yes, people with disabilities have to be included in the film industry. Yes, if we have hearing people and we have other people with disabilities, yeah, the film industry can be inclusive. It can. And I love the word that show up yourself. Yes, not so that all the world can get to know who you are. You have to do it yourself. Yeah.
I've always said that for me, what inclusion looks like is if I go to an audition and there's 3 roles, one for a businesswoman, one for a mother, and one for a woman with albinism. Inclusion for me would be if I am the best businesswoman, they cast me as the businesswoman, and they cast another woman as the woman with albinism. What would inclusion look like to you, Kevin?
That's a very good point. I think I really re-echo your sentiments. And I remember a while back in London, I was auditioning for a role in opera. And opera is much like acting and singing and acting, melodrama. Yeah. And I've always believed in the value of competence rather than just selecting me because you want to tick a certain box just to have a disabled person. And I think that is tokenism, and any self-respecting person would not want to step into such a competitive stage. And for context, I had been offered master's scholarship at the Royal College of Music, Royal Academy of Music. The Royal College actually ranked the top in the world today. And for you to get to that stage, you want to go there knowing in your heart that I've been given this role because I'm good at what I do, one, and because this role, I'm able to deliver in it, not because I am black, not because I have a physical disability or anything. Of course, they'll have to make adjustments, but that comes later. And I didn't like always disclosing that I've got a disability. I didn't want any discrimination, be that negative or positive. I wanted to be judged on the basis of my competence and the value that I bring to the table. If the role requires to be shifted a bit, because operas were written, some of them were written like 200 years ago, 300 years ago, and you need someone with a walking stick, then you can always make it work for the performer, rather than just casting me for a stereotypical role that doesn't really help to challenge the stereotype of what people with disabilities are capable of doing. And I really want, I really want to challenge those biases. Thank you.
A follow-up on what you just said.
Yes.
You're saying you want to be hired because you're competent.
Yes.
But do you think there is room for companies to intentionally, specifically create opportunities for people with disabilities? Because this is where it becomes tricky, right?
Yes.
And people find this confusing. We say we want to be treated normal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we want you to still recognize that we have a limitation.
Very good question.
Yes. So,
So,
do you feel that they should be roles that are specifically created for us? And because if not, how do we move?
I'm smiling because you're asking the right questions.
Yeah.
I wrote an article. I said I'm a performer, I'm a researcher, and so many other things I do.
Yeah.
An educator. I wrote an article where I said, in the UK, they like to use the word disabled, not in a discriminatory way, but in the social model of disability, meaning disabled by barriers rather than by the disability itself. So I used a title, I was deliberately provocative, disabled and competent. So, because they seem like the opposite of each other. So if I want to be hired on my competence, how then can you create roles that, because sometimes people judge you just because you have a disability, they don't even give you the opportunity to see your competence. And I'll be very honest and vulnerable here. I've had that challenge throughout my career where I want to be recognized for my competencies, but I also want them to have the sensitivity to be able to make adjustments. And I don't think I have come to the conclusion, but I don't think that just creating roles for people with disabilities alone without making sure that we also expect certain standards from them is going to do any justice to our employers. And they'll just be doing that to tick a box. Maybe the government has made a rule that you must have a person with disabilities in the cast or whatever. So I think they should create roles for people with disabilities, yes, but they should have a yardstick, a standard that all people must meet, whether or not you have a disability, but maybe a certain portion goes to people with disabilities. Because if you don't make such a deliberate decision, we may not see people with disabilities in certain industries. I hope that answers you.
It does. So in other words, they must create it, but they must make sure they hire competent people so that we are well represented, so that it continues. Thank you.
If they don't, then you're not going to be represented well, and that does not look good on us.
Yes. Okay. So, Nicholas, do you disclose, or do you disclose later? When you have an opportunity to work, right?
Yes.
You go to audition for something.
Yes.
And you arrive because it's not evident. It's not like me where you can see that I have a disability. Do you disclose or do you not disclose out of fear of being discriminated against?
As for me, I got an opportunity to be internship at Kise as a graphic designer.
Yes.
So how do I start? First, there's a university called Strathmore, where they teach youths to learn basic coding, basic graphic design, or the design. So I love Strathmore because they're inclusive.
Yeah.
I've tried to go to other university. I want to do certificate, grow with PhD, go. I cannot do that. Only Strathmore where they have train you basic and go to advanced.
Yeah.
So it's easy to shift to a job where they accept. So you have to tell them that I'm dyslexic.
Okay.
And I need somebody or assistive device or somebody will work with you.
Thank you. Same question to Alvarita. Do you disclose or do you not disclose or do you disclose later?
So I only started using the white cane about last year after having complications with surgery.
Yeah.
So prior to that, I wouldn't disclose. But it was upon interacting with people, because I have nystagmus, that they would catch on that there is something going on. So then through questioning what's going on with your eyes, why are they dancing, then of course I have to disclose. Yes.
Got it. Okay, I've got 8 minutes for questions. If you want to ask a question, please be short and sharp. 30 seconds is all you get, and then unfortunately, if you haven't gotten to your question in the 30 seconds, I'm going to have to move on to the next person. Do we have any questions from the audience? No questions. Okay, so let's speak about funding. Now you have to look at me. So we're speaking about funding, right? What challenges has she experienced in terms of funding?
Personal or in the industry?
Both.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much. Generally, with the film industry, and in regard to funding, the budget is very limited. People with disabilities, this budget is very limited. Yeah, for example, they think that we are expensive. We are having this deaf actor, and then you have to come with an interpreter. They would love one person, and they maybe pay one person. Yeah, if you're a person with a disability, and then you have accessibility challenges, they feel it is expensive. So that is one challenge within the film industry, especially the accessibility needs. Yeah. They think that it is expensive within the industry. And then on a personal basis, I can say it depends on the levels and where they pay. If I am acting maybe in a very short film, that means that, you will be paid less. If it is a lengthy film, then, the payment would be a little higher. But on a personal basis, of course, funding, is not all that there. It's not all that strong. We still need to do awareness about this.
Yeah.
Yes, then the film industry needs to know more about budgeting for disability needs.
Mamsi?
Yeah, that is all.
Thank you. Challenges with funding?
I obviously cannot speak too much about it because I'm an actress. However, what I have come to realize just from looking from an outsider's perspective is that in as much as the funding opportunities might be there, when it comes to access to that fund or access to those calls for proposals or whatever, they're not really made accessible to people with disabilities. So chances are they won't even know that this funding is even available and accessible to them. So even if there is funding, our community probably doesn't even know much about it. And if they do, it is not easy to be able to apply because then the application process is also not, it's not accessible for them either. There's only one way of doing it. Back home, we're still going into, the digital, trying to just, move into the digital space. But we have only been using paper form of applications and such. So stuff like that still needs to be worked on. We need to make it possible for somebody who cannot read, somebody who cannot write on that application form to be able to also enjoy the benefits if they are much to be enjoyed, but at least get a piece of the pie. So I think it's just the accessibility of the whole application process.
While I'm still with you, I remember the series you did with Jill Scott. The world's #1 detective, what was it called?
#1 Ladies Detective Agency.
Yes, that was really amazing. How did you land that role? Because I also feel like landing roles is very difficult because our agents seem to send us to the role that says, specifically, maybe in your case, someone in a wheelchair, So how was the process? How did you land the role?
I was in the right place at the right time. 2,
what does that mean? I need you to unpack that.
Yeah. I was very young at the time. I was at a drama academy, at a drama camp, and these talent scouts came and were looking specifically for a girl in a wheelchair. And as usual, I'm always the one that sticks out like a sore thumb, and I was just there. And they asked me to come and audition. I auditioned, and because I guess I am, no, actually I don't guess, because I do have the gift and I am talented in my skill set,
Yeah.
I landed the role.
Okay.
However, why are you just looking for a girl in a wheelchair? Now that I think about it, I think I'm a bit vexed by that, but it's fine.
But you know, don't be. It's like what we were saying just now. If people don't intentionally create opportunities, it will never happen. It has to start somewhere for it to get to a point where people watch a show and they don't see you as the girl on the wheelchair, they see you as part of the cast. But it has to start somewhere. But I like what you said, Kelvin, when you said, but when we get to the role, we must rise to the occasion. So that next time, they don't just think about hiring Mamsi because she's on a wheelchair. They hire Mamsi for the role, and then they hire someone else for representation. You get it?
Got it.
Right. Parting shot, call to action from each and every one of you. Now, by call to action, I mean if you were to speak, whether it's to policy, speak to power, speak to government, speak to agencies, speak to movie makers, what would be the call to action from you to the industry? And I will start with you, Felix.
Thank you so much. My call to action will be we must make sure that the policies that we make are explicitly include creators, providing them with funding, mentorship, and opportunities. I think the brands and the industry should hire diverse talents, ensure accessibility, and support inclusive training.
Fantastic. Thank you. That was really good on time. Woo! Next. Should I repeat the question? Oh, okay.
Yeah, all right, thank you so much. First of all, I want to ask the audience. I want to know if we have directors, writers, producers in the house. Do we have any? Can you put up your hands? If we don't have any, oh, all right. Okay. Yeah, I want to thank Enable, for this program and for this opportunity. It is a very good opportunity for us to be here. Yeah, now in regards to policies and, first of all, people in the audience, government or whoever is here, they do not know about disability. We need to create awareness. We need to do this training. To create awareness to people so that they understand about disability. They understand issues of accessibility, and then they are able to budget. They are able to prioritize. Without creating disability awareness, it is still complex. It is still a struggle. Then secondly, Agenda 2030, the SDGs that we all know. What is the theme? Leave no one behind. So we have to include all people with disabilities so that we are fully included and we are fully included within the film industry. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Call to action.
My call to action, I would say that the creative economy is a very important part of the economy. Partly for the economics of it, but it is also a means to a greater end. You know, one can do this as a career, as I do music as a career, but it also helps young people with disabilities to develop other skills, self-confidence and all that. And I think you're able to see that in this panel. And unless we deliberately make adjustments, and technology today has allowed us to be able to make a lot of adjustments to make young people with disabilities to be able to access the creative industry, then we will pay the cost for that later. And in this country, especially, and in this part of the world, and I speak from experience and from research, there is a very intricate interrelationship between disability and poverty, and I believe that the creative industry has a very important role to play in bridging that. Adjustments are expensive because you have to build an infrastructure or rebuild it when it was not built for people with disabilities. But if we don't make that investment now, we will pay more later. That would be my call to action. Thank you very much.
Nicholas.
First thing I want to say thank you for Enable for organizing this amazing conference. And we need all the partners to go to the highland. There's more people who do not know about dyslexia, autism, or other disability in the village. I've already adopted some schools in the villages. Some of them are gifted in acting, some of them are gifted in farming. Also train them in farming under the Nichosville Shamba village. We call it neurodudu insects. We train them how they can grow themselves. So if all the partners over here, we can go to the villages because we need more awareness there. Because more people, they don't understand.
Thank you.
Yes.
Call to action.
So just to expand on what our gentleman in the blue suit has said in terms of economy is the creative industry in Africa contributes, according to UNESCO, of course, we contribute about $58 billion to the African economy.
Wow.
And it's overlooked. So then you find yourself in positions whereby people are talking about perform for exposure. And then, unfortunately, exposure doesn't pay rent, it doesn't put food on the table, it's not gonna help you buy food for your cat that insists on eating premium cat food. So additionally, what I want to say is, for stakeholders, definitely hire us because we are competent. Don't do that because you're trying to, like they mentioned, cover something on your company profile. Hire us because we're here, we're present, we're talented, and definitely try to be as inclusive as possible. I'll conclude there.
Thank you. Call to action, Mamsi?
I believe enough has been said, more than enough has been said. However, also, mainstream media needs to do a lot more in portraying people with disabilities in a more empowering manner rather than out of pity. One. And then also, I would also encourage production companies, art councils and the like, to try and partner with disability organizations as well in order to be able to understand what exactly is disability, first of all, what exactly it means to include people with disabilities so that moving forward they're able to adjust and work around what we need, and we can all just work together and make the industry even better.
Thank you so much to my panel. Sure, a lot has been said today, ladies and gentlemen. I also believe that we have to be proactive, because if we sit and wait for things to happen, they'll not happen. What I've done in my personal capacity, I have recently launched a talent management company as part of Basia Legacy, where I specifically represent talent with disabilities or talent from minority groups. And I do this because I believe that when people say make an exception for us, it's associated with incompetence. But I represent some of the most competent talent in South Africa that have disabilities, and that is the role that I've chosen to play in pushing the industry to recognize us legitimately. We've spoken about a lot of things today. We spoke about awareness. We spoke about accessibility. We spoke about accountability. We spoke about tolerance, which is critical because it seems that people just don't want the work of having to accommodate and feed two people because somebody is deaf. People don't want to have somebody that comes with someone to guide them because they have blindness. So we need to be tolerant because it can affect you at any time, even if it's not you personally, it can affect your family member. Lastly, my disability is not my inability. We are more than capable. We are more than conquerors. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.